Hey guys, my name is Matsumo, and welcome to our episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you, the viewer, can submit your gaming-related questions, and then I'll give my humble opinion on them. To get the formalities out of the way real quick, if you'd like to submit your own question that could be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below, or by sending me a Facebook or Twitter message. The first question for today is, do you think that Ubisoft went too far with the Ela buff? So without a shadow of a doubt, Ela is now significantly better. That reduction in her recoil not only made her a lot more reliable at lining up headshots, but in my opinion, just made her a much more enjoyable operator to play. One of the reasons why I hardly ever used Ela before was because of her horizontal and the randomness of her recoil. She just felt very inconsistent, and it really didn't seem like there's any way to actually master her because of that unreliable recoil. Now that it's become much more manageable, she's just a lot more fun to use. Now the question is though, did Ubisoft go too far with this and make her overpowered once again? It kind of got me thinking, why does everyone find Ela to be overpowered in this state, but when we take a look at other high RPM weapons on defense, no one really seems to bat an eye. If we take a look at Alibi in particular, she has a blazing fast RPM, maybe not as high as Ela, but it's way up there. She deals more damage per shot compared to Ela, and in my opinion, her recoil is a lot more easy to manage. And so while yes, she doesn't have 40 rounds at her disposal, why does everyone consider her to be a much more balanced operator? Maybe it really just does come down to having a slightly higher RPM and more rounds at your disposal. That really could get to the heart of the issue, but it also might be simply because of the gadgets that they have at their disposal. Alibi is a bit trickier to use, and Ela, in my opinion, is one of the most annoying gadgets that they have in Rainbow Six Siege. I despise the Ela Gersmont mines because there's really no way for you to deal with them if you're not playing as like Thatcher or Twitch. Because you can place this literally anywhere on the map, and as long as you place them properly, if you don't have the necessary tools to deal with it, there is nothing that you can do about it. I can't tell you how many times I've droned it out, I've realized that there is this gadget on the other side, and I have to make the tough decision. Do I rush on in because there's hardly any time left, or really that's the only way to move from point A to point B closer to the objective, or do I try to find another access route to go through and not leave myself incredibly vulnerable? One of the things I think that Ubisoft has done very well over the years is allowing for interaction between the two different sides. If you notice that there is a frost trap underneath a window, you can vault on over and take it out before it activates. You're gonna see the goo and the Capcan traps as long as you're being cautious and you scout it out. But that's just simply not the case with Ela. There is literally almost nothing you can do about it. And so maybe one of the reasons why people find her to be so frustrating, yes, is that weapon that she has at her disposal, but it could also be related to her gadgets. Maybe make it so that it has a short delay before it activates. That way, as long as you are being cautious about it, you can peek in quickly, and as long as you're quick, take out the gadget before it activates and then move on to where you want it to go. It's still not going to put you in an optimal position, because if the Ela is right there watching said doorway, she's gonna have an easy time taking you out, but at least it would give you that option. In general though, all I can say is that Ela is definitely significantly better than she was before, and playing this update for about a week now, it is clear that she is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And so let me know what you guys think on this topic. Do you think that Ubisoft went too far with this buff? And if so, how would you like them to reduce her effectiveness? Do you think they should just simply revert the change back to what it was, or should they take a look at her gadget and maybe approach it from a different way? Let me know what you guys think down below. The next question is, should the Stadium map be here to stay, or at least in quick play? Yes, absolutely yes. I love the Stadium map. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because it's a novelty. It's only around on the weekends. Maybe it's because we're all assuming it's going to disappear, and that's why I'm having so much fun trying to get as much enjoyment out of it as I possibly can. But I think that for the most part, Ubisoft has done a really good job with this map. It's kind of hard not to do a good job because it takes a lot of the good parts from Oregon, expands upon it, makes it something different, and in my opinion, excels in every single way. Now, Now, granted, it does have its issues. Some objectives are more viable than others. Having a window on literally one side of an entire objective room, maybe not the best idea. Maybe they need to make it so that drones can't spot you through said windows, because having a drone constantly spot you while you're trying to defend said objective can be quite frustrating. But if they even just wanted to have this in quick play, where things don't need to be as competitive, I think this would be an amazing addition. Compared to like Favela, Yacht, Tower, Bartlett University, while those maps are enjoyable in their own right, I think this one far exceeds them on basically every single level. Now I realize that not everyone may be on board with this being added into the rotation, because it essentially is Oregon 2.0. If you played on Oregon and then you switched it over to Stadium back to Oregon, that could get repetitive quickly, and I get that. But at the same time, if Ubisoft removed this from the game entirely and we never got to see it ever again, that would be a big disappointment. Ubisoft really seems to love the whole fear of missing out incentive to try to get people to come back and play Rainbow Six Siege. It's like, hey, play on Stadium, play Wild West, because if you don't, it's never going to return ever again. I don't like that aspect. It would be great if this was at least in custom matches, but we are gonna have to wait and see. The next question comes from Richard, and it is, they need to make it so that you can't get duplicates from Battle Pass Alpha Packs. Working hard to get 20 tiers just to get the same legendary twice hurts and feels like a waste of time. So I will say it's really cool that they gave us guaranteed legendaries and epics with the alpha packs that are included in the battle pass. Like, I thought that was a great addition. It would have been awful if they just gave us normal alpha packs like, yay, another common duplicate. I am so surprised. And so I thought that was a really nice touch. At the same time though, the fact that this has a chance to be a duplicate item, even if it is a legendary or an epic, it does reward you some renown, so I guess that's nice. But the fact that people are paying for this is definitely a head scratcher. I don't know why Ubisoft is so adamant at keeping the duplicate system in this game. You want to reward and have a satisfying experience, especially for a battle pass. You want them to return, I'm assuming, to the game. You want them to keep on playing, but to have these unsatisfying moments, especially when it is a legendary item, I think that they could do better. All in all though, I'm right there with you. I do like the improvements that Ubisoft has made here, but I think that they could go further. The next question comes from Jake, and it is, what do you think about adding moving cover to Rainbow Six Siege? For example, on Theme Park, having a small cart that moves around the theme park slowly on rails that is already there. I would love for Ubisoft to explore and do more of these kinds of things when it comes to future maps. I think that the addition of the windows on Stadium was a fantastic idea. It's a double-edged sword, it adds in different dynamics. We're really only scratching the surface as to how this changes the way that you approach different objectives, and to do more of those kinds of cool different things in other maps, I think would be a fantastic idea. What I like about your concept, a movable object cover system out in the distance, that could change the way that you have to approach just getting simply towards the building. If someone's trying to spawn peek, their eye is going to be automatically drawn to that movement, and that could give offense that split second to realize that they are in the window. This also could just be a great way at catching people by surprise. Not only to be able to move from point A to point B more reliably, you're not gonna have to be out in the open, because as long as you just slowly move behind the cover, you're gonna be good to go. But also, if you pop out of nowhere because they just didn't expect someone to be so diligent simply behind it, that could really give you the advantage in those situations. It also could be a double-edged sword. If you're not paying attention to your surroundings and you're assuming that the cover is going to be there, but then it moves away, you're also going to have to watch out for that. Having these dynamic gameplay elements, I think, could be a lot of fun. I don't know if it would revolutionize the map design by any stretch of the imagination, but it could at least add some flavor and something that we've never experienced before. And so I am right there with you. The next question is, what is your opinion on certain operators having a home ground advantage? For example, Gridlock and Mozzie on Outback. I feel like this would encourage the use of operators on certain maps. So I like the idea of having slightly different incentives for playing operators just to mix up the game, but I don't know if this is the best way of going about it. What would this home field advantage even look like? Do they have less recoil? Are they getting more drones or more gadgets at their disposal? Or is it something very minimalistic like having an extra mag? If it's minimalistic, I don't think that's really gonna have any impact and really wouldn't justify playing as that character. But if all of a sudden you're giving them more gadgets or something more substantial, potential, then we're moving into overpowered territory where it just completely ruins and messes up the entire game balance between all of the operators. And so while I do like where your head is at, trying to bring in more variety into Siege and getting people to play other operators that they normally wouldn't have, I think is something that Ubisoft should strive for, but I don't think that this is the way that they should go about it. But yeah, guys, that is it for today's episode of Sunday Mailbox. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about what we discussed in today's video. Would you like Stadium to stay in Siege, at least in quick play? Do you think that it should be gone forever? Let me know what you guys think down below. As always, if you'd like to submit your own question for an upcoming episode, you can also leave a comment or by sending me a Facebook or Twitter message. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.